Nothing was changed to make the vote almost nonsensical as in the Exeter case. But mostly, I think the Exeter case was decided wrong. Nullity is not in the statute. To make the question advisory does not eliminate the subject matter. It's perfectly consistent. That's what happens at New England town meetings. The board had several articles on its warrant, and they could have been made advisory too, but the voters weren't there to do that. The board had a land purchase article, and that could have been changed or made advisory, and it would have been perfectly acceptable. What disturbs me here is, of the 7 petition articles, only one of them was anything but advisory in the first place. 3 of them were budget articles. The warrant is in fact a warning. The board posts its budget. It's required by law to post its budget with the warrant. And the budget is on the agenda for the first session no matter what. We didn't need the 3 petition articles. One of these years I'll take a chance, I won't take a chance, but you could take a chance. I don't know that we needed to post their budget articles. The budget article has been warned. What their budget article should have been were amendments to our budget article. And they did make those amendments at the meeting, and they lost. Anything that was changed did not eliminate the subject matter. It did them more credence. And they talked about a syntactic stratagem. I had prepared motions that I was going to ask somebody to amend until this one came out, and I didn't use mine. But mine, maybe that would have been a syntactic stratagem, was to amend their budget articles to the same number the board was going to use. So we would have 4 of the same budget articles. That would have passed too. What we did presents to the district on a more beneficial advisory basis than what mine would have done. They're seeing skeletons and ghosts that just aren't there. It was a New England town meeting the way it should have been run.
Can you address, again, and I'll certainly whatever argument you want to make, but are you aware, other than the decision, the Rockingham County decision, are you aware of any other court that has addressed this question, whether an amendment in the time after the statute was amended, that has addressed whether the propriety of an amendment to a warrant article
I'm not aware of any, Your Honor, and I asked around, and no other school lawyer that I talked to was aware of any. You're just stuck with the Exeter case and your decision.
Well, I know that in the treatise, the Laughlin's treatise on local government law, there's a discussion of this very question, and it says it kind of points to it as an open and unresolved question in the wake of the statute being amended. So I just was curious as to whether you found anything else. No, it doesn't sound like you have. Right. Please continue.
In addition, so my point is the 3 budget articles submitted by the petitioners were advisory in the first place, and then they were made advisory by the amendments. The next 3 articles submitted by the petitioners were contrary to the law of the state. The New England town meeting, the school district meeting, has no authority to overturn a law. The law requires us to put yes and no recommendations in the warrant. But the law requires you to put tax dollar, your unexpended surplus into the tax rolls. The law requires, can't recall the third. When there's vacancies on the school board, there's a statute that tells you how to fill them. No matter what the town, the school district, the voters would have voted on that petition article, that was advisory only, and the argument should have been taken up and conquered. amended or otherwise, everything the petitioners did was advisory except the one. The one was the RSA 198-4B article, and it was reworded, but the rewording, that authority is to keep some of your unexpended surplus in reserve for emergency purposes. It's an authority that the school district has done fine without for 100 years. Last year they approved it but didn't use it, and the petitioners sought to undo what we did last year. And that gets to my point as to irreparable harm. There's no irreparable harm here that requires immediate injunctive relief to stop the election. Again, 6 of their articles were advisory in the first place. The 7th is something we haven't used for 100 years, only got the right to use it last year, and we won't know whether we're even thinking about using it until we have the budget numbers from June 30th. This case can either be disposed of by June 30th, or at worst, the petitioners can renew their motion on June 1 to possibly prevent us from using the 198-4B authority. But to stop an election is, the election is critical to the orderly workings of the school district. We're electing 4 new board members. The budget is at issue. There's a teacher's contract at issue. To hold the teachers in abeyance, most critically the students, there's a bond issue to do work at our 5 grammar schools. To have that bond delayed, there's a small window of opportunity to do work at schools. We've coordinated the bond around that. If it's approved, the work will start July 1. Any delay in this election could affect the bond. Bond rates could go up. Construction rates that we have in place could go up. It's frightening if the remedy is granted that would delay this election.
Well, let me ask along to pursue that a little further. Again, and I don't mean to suggest anything more than this to this by my question, but if I deny the request for preliminary injunctive relief so the election goes forward, but let's say I did have concerns, and again, I'm not indicating, I just wanted, because right now it's my understanding the election is set for March 11th.
Yes.
But in terms of let's say that I agreed with the plaintiffs and that what happened was not legally proper, what would your argument be about the appropriate course of action? Are you saying, I take it you're saying the election should still go forward, and then because there's no irreparable harm in letting the election go forward on March 11th, but we could deal with the remedy and whether something further needed to happen down the road?
Certainly can deal with the 198-4B remedy further down the road, namely June 30th. There's plenty of time to address that. The budget, I guess prior to June 30th, you could order by law. The DRA would approve the budget that is determined by the election. And I think you would have authority to overturn DRA to use one of their numbers.
Again, and I don't mean, all I'm really getting to the question, because part of what the request is involves the election that's scheduled for March 11th, and I'm asking whether, and I take what you're saying is that they failed to show irreparable harm with respect to the election going forward on that date.
That's the point.
And I'll give you an opportunity to address it as well. Yes.
And I don't think I have anything. I would like to provide you with, I would note the Bailey versus Exeter case refused to grant the injunction that petitioners seek. And one of the reasoning is that the ballots have been prepared and the absentee ballots have been sent out. I'd like to give the court a copy of the official ballot.
Thank you. And perhaps we can just mark this. Mr. Perry, have you seen the official ballot?
I have not.
Yeah. Are these copies of the same document?
Yes.
Maybe we can mark this as exhibit exhibit A. Yeah. Mr. Perry, do you dispute that that's a copy of the official ballot?
I do not. I have nothing to claim otherwise.
I understand.